Hi, everybody. We're at IBEX in Tampa, Florida. Year's 2025. It's always important to mention the year because Ben Special and I were just talking how many years in this marine business we've been doing. And you're with Yamaha. You actually started as a kid. That's the unfair part.
Very fair to say I was a kid when I started at Yamaha the first time in '87. That would be very accurate. Right out of college and very young and very excited because obviously coming to work for a company like Yamaha was, in those years, was really, really exciting with the innovation that was taking place with products. But I got to work on marine products and actually did a little work on golf cars for parts and accessories too. And then eventually moving into what we call the engine side, or on the specialty sales, the marketing aspect. That's where I met Mr. Phil Disco, who's been around for a lot of years too. He's retired, and he became one of my big mentors. And then we moved into really setting the business up to grow, which fortunately we were able to do that from '96 to where we're at today. And
while your focus and your title is really U.S. based, you've become a global player.
I spend a lot of time overseas. I'd like to say the Delta family likes me a lot. So I got back from Germany after meeting with Torqeedo on, Friday night. So then we headed to the lake and hung out on our little boat on the lake, and then now I'm down here.
And in case you don't know, Torqeedo is part of the Yamaha platform.
Part of our platform of family companies today, like Skeeter or G3 or other brands that we have. They're headquartered outside of Munich, Germany. It's the first time I've ever been to Oktoberfest. I spent a couple hours at Oktoberfest. It is by far the world's largest fair you've ever seen in your life. And I did not know that it started as a party for the king and queen getting married. And that's how Oktoberfest was founded.
It's a friendly place to go chat with anybody. There are no strangers.
3 million people visit there a year.
It's a lot like boating. You know, when you get out on the water, there are no strangers.
There's no strangers. I'm a big believer in that. So I was on the water this weekend. It was lovely. So,
and if you really think about it, boat brands, Yamaha, Torqeedo.
Yes, Torqeedo's got a broad group of electric solutions that actually we have a really nice plan going forward. I'm really excited about it. They've got some products that's in the work that's going to be really nice to see grow. And we're pretty excited about the opportunities for Torqeedo globally. So
electrification in boat motors was a very, very hot topic when it was first introduced, I guess, Torqeedo, I remember at one of these IBEX shows probably, almost 20 years ago, maybe, in Miami?
Yes, and electrification, I like to say in our industry, we understand it very well. We call them trolling motors. We've been doing it for over 80 years, but finding the right position, whether it's a full power solution or a hybrid solution, is the opportunity that we have as an industry. And I really see that growing more as we go forward, especially in the hybrid type solutions, as well as main power and main markets.
We're really looking at a hybrid. I guess the auto industry has figured out it's not one or the other. There is a hybrid solution that's there today, even synthetic fuels.
And even synthetic fuels, there's a lot of work being done in that, and we're really proud of the Industry Association for working on Propelling the Future, where we're really studying how, if you really wanted to change the industry's carbon footprint, you would touch fuels, because you could touch the 10 million boats in use. And versus a couple 100,000 new boats a year, you really need to be looking at the fuel supply and how you can adjust that.
Since about 2015, I'm going to take a stab at it, the look of our buyer has dramatically changed. We went from a lot of different uses of boats down to a day boat world, I guess, if you want to look at it. Have you seen other changes happening with the consumer?
I think from 15 till today, our industry always shifts some based off current trends in the world. I think as you see, what I'm going to call boats have gotten to be more multi-use in their categories. 20 years ago, we were saying what was going to happen in the industry is, when I was younger, I lived in Southern California working for Yamaha. We'd get on a boat and we'd run 30, 40 miles offshore. It didn't bother me. Today, I would have softer accoutrements inside the boat, whether that's my wife and I are making a softer decision because we're going to have kids on the boat. Sometimes we want to use it for picnicking. Sometimes we want to go fishing. But it's not single purpose anymore. I think the game with boats is how do you make it be more multi-use, multi-purpose more going forward. Now, some of that is the picnic style. Some of that is more day boating. And day boating is more common than what it was years ago. But I would still argue that we were looking at a different class of boats. I think the used boat market, because the quality of our products have improved so much in our industry, the used boat market is where you see a lot of the new boats may look one way, but the used boats are still out there and they're still being used and they're still being heavily used, and they last for 30 or 40 years today in reality. So I still think you have a broad breadth of product. What sells new for the new person may look a little different, but what's being used is still prominent.
Used boat, have they become the biggest competitor to new boats?
I think we would always say that as a dealership growing up, as used boats were always a competitor for new. I think when a consumer buys a new boat, they want it so feature content rich that used boats are in competition for new boats. But that's always been that way. That's not a different trend than what it's been in the past. But used boats stick around for a long time today. Like this last year with our new V6 350, we saw a really good surge and repower of a lot of product. It's just that cycle of the time and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But so I get excited about both sides of that spectrum because I'm a big believer we should build quality stuff.
Last question for you here, from your standpoint globally as well as in the U.S., and it's one of those be careful what you wish for type things. We changed parties in the White House. We're faced with tariffs and the unintended consequence of logistics on the water, getting product into this country. What do you see? What advice are you giving to your team as you take a look at 2026?
When I look at 2026, we've gone for 2 years being relatively flat as an industry. You could argue it's up or down 3 or 4 points. To me, that's relatively flat. And we need to be thinking that way for the next 12 months. The consumer has the money to spend. They're looking for reasons to buy. We got to be the right person with the right reasons to buy. Things like we just showed here with the handheld joystick control systems for boats, the wireless version of it. We got to give consumers reasons to buy, reasons to trade. Interest rates do concern us, but they seem like they're going in the right direction. I like to say 90% of people who buy a new boat sell a boat. The person who's buying the used boat might need an interest loan on it. So interest rates affect the secondary sell just as much as the primary sell, the first sell. So we want to keep seeing those trends get better. I always say don't panic about tomorrow. It's been doing this for 4 or 5 decades or 4 decades now plus. And one thing we know is there's always an opportunity for improvement.
Or if you really want to date yourself, in the words of Rosanna Danadana on the SNL, there's always something.
There's always something in life. That's right.
Every morning you pick up the news and there's always another tariff.
Yes. So I get excited about the future. I think 26 is going to be a good year. We're excited about what's coming at us. We got our challenges like every company and every industry, but we got to work it. Don't make the problem bigger than what it is.
Good advice. Ben Special with Yamaha. Thanks for being with us from IBEX. I'm Alan Wendt.